What's going on, guys? Your boy Rich Shadare. Welcome back to another episode of the MTcast. Introduce yourself, my boy.
Eugene, huge. How's it going, people? How's it going? How we all doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good. How's your week been, bro?
Man, my week's been hectic, bro. I'll be honest. It's like, even though I wake up nice and early, try and start my day right, I've still got so much work to do. But I mean, there are other people who don't have work, so perspective. Do you know what I mean?
Is necessary. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, man,
How about yourself, man?
welcome back to another, episode of the MTcast, where kind of we hope to just come in here with our cups empty and just share some good conversation. We just hope you guys do the same as well, really. Like this week, we're going to go through a couple of the turning points in our life, kind of things that shaped our perspective, kind of put us back on track of on this path to greatness that we're trying to be on. Yeah, bro. So let me throw it to you, man. Like, just give us, like, a couple of the things that might have framed your perspective or kind of put you on a path that you're on right now.
I think that's a really good point, because I think it's like, I don't know, I watch too much anime, but like you always go like, these are like the turning points that made Goku what he was.
Yeah.
But then, like, I think from my perspective, right, I'll look here and go, so getting bounced out of sixth form, that was like probably number one. At least that started me onto the correct path. The second one will probably be starting the gym, which is, funny enough, not a lot of my identity, but it kind of shapes like what I am right now, at least like the structure, the regimen, and like that kind of behavior from there.
Discipline.
Yeah, exactly. The discipline that goes with it. It's painful. And then, like, thirdly, I would say like leaving my most recent job. So, and then obviously like going into another one. But I think that was kind of like, for me, that was the transition for me to finally become a man. Or be, I know it sounds like late and just like, but like to actually become like a person I could look at myself like and go, yeah, I'm happy with that person.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
understanding who you're trying to aspire to be.
Exactly.
And then to yourself, you know what, I'm actually making steps towards being that person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not just saying it at this point. I actually feel like I'm doing something. Let's go back to the beginning though, bro. So wait, you got bounced out of sixth form.
Bro,
fighting?
I wish.
What were you telling when you in sixth form?
I wish I was like Money Mayweather just coming in.
Money man, isn't
it? No, so like, huh? No. Come on. So basically what it was like, I'll be honest. I would like to say I'll just say I'm just all right, smart. All right. I'm not genius level intellect. I'm not like Einstein 140 IQ. But I will be honest, that shit was boring. Like, it wasn't stimulating enough. All right. And this sounds terrible, bro, but I found like more comfort sleeping those extra 6-5 hours and then just waking up, flicking on the Xbox and going, all right, cool. What are we doing? And just like just slapping people up.
You was a social delinquent, but you weren't doing nothing wrong. You weren't breaking.
I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't doing anything. It wasn't like I was
playing video games and catching up on sleep.
That's literally it. I was the pioneer of mental health way back then, before I even knew it.
Like, I need to protect my energy right now, so I think I'm gonna take a personal day.
I'm gonna take a personal day.
You should get personal days in school. I mean, they should get personal days in school. Right?
The amount of for real, the amount of shit that kids are going through right now, like in regards to like Instagram as a whole and like social media, and like how, in my opinion, I don't think the bullying stops, because at least back in our day, if you got tumped up a little bit, you went home, you went to go eat a little bit of food, came back like Popeye, you refueled, you're like, okay, cool, I'm ready. I'm gonna try to fight again. Now it's like you got pumped up at school. Now it gets like World Star or like straight onto IG Live. You rewatch that, bro. You rewatch that.
You're on TikTok getting beat up in 15-second intervals, bro. Like over and over on a loop. Like
15-second
schools, bro. All the schools in that area, probably all the schools in your country. If that shit goes super viral, it could be all multiple schools in the Western world, bro. I've just seen And not only that, these kids are they're so clever with it. They're putting theme tunes behind it. They've got background
Bro,
noise. They
for
got
real,
special effects when you get
bro.
into the mouth.
Can you,
Like,
can you
I'm not
imagine,
gonna be caught on camera.
bro? Could you imagine? All right, someone getting thumped up, all right, and then they have like Street Fighter music in the background or like Mortal Kombat, and like the last hit before you get him onto the floor, like finish him,
This shit happens.
bro.
This shit happens, bro. They've got like high level Hollywood special effects behind these videos, bro. It's nuts. These kids are on another level with it. I do respect it. They're all content video creators. Like,
Bro.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like 10 years from now. Like,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying, like when they actually have cultivated those skills and actually getting paid for some of those skills. It's going to be interesting to see what that looks like.
Bro. Damn. But yeah, like that was basically it. I was like straight up social delinquent. And so then obviously came in one day, and then the head of sixth form is, in my opinion, this was the first step. It was signing the contract with the devil. All right. She goes, if you miss a lesson or miss a day of school, we're kicking you out. So obviously
it's not feasible to not do that. How long of the term are we talking about? How long of the term we have left?
bro, this must have been around like November time, so all the way up until June. So in her mind, she already knew I was gonna miss one. All right. And I think what happened was, yeah. So what happened was, I think we played like a house rugby game, and like someone fell on me or something like that, and then my knee went pop. I went A&E,
and there was no,
bro. There was no kind of like,
yeah,
there was no kind of like give or like slack or anything. It was like, yeah, you signed this, whatever. Yeah, I was like, I went to A&E though. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so, but obviously, and then, fun fact, you know what she said to me as well? She said to me, Eugene, I don't think you're ever gonna get a C in one of your A levels, and I don't think you're gonna graduate university. I was like, rah. So for me, that was a turning point, because can you imagine someone telling you like directly to your face from a position of power, you ain't shit?
No, that happened. That happened.
You know what I'm saying?
I always thought that I was, maybe not as like book smart as the teachers, but I always felt like I had way more common sense. And
yeah.
you know what? Worst case scenario, I'll figure this shit out with common sense. Like like. But what do you think? Do you think that she was genuinely being, I would say, like maybe like malicious, or trying to be negative, or do you think she was trying to reinforce that, or trying to give you that constructive criticism? You know what I'm saying? What's the word? Reverse psychology.
Yeah. So I'll be honest with you, right? Obviously we've both played sports. When you've made a big mistake that impacts your team and everything, all right? And the way I see it, I think teachers should look at students like, me and you're on the same team because we're trying to get your grades up. It's a we. Otherwise, they wouldn't teach. They'll just say, yo, read this book, page 1 to 200. Go do it yourself, G. Your exam is on June, I don't know, whatever. Go and sit down. Otherwise, sorry, excuse me. I think they should look at it like from a we perspective, because the coach goes, okay, you messed up, but this is how we can improve. You need to work on this, and we'll work you through it by making you do X, Y, and Z. All right. I personally, okay, cool. People's opinions will say, Eugene, you're just probably like terrible as a kid. I would say it's malicious. All right. Because I've got other people, at least in the same age range, who would voice the exact same things. Like they thought that she wasn't exactly the nicest human being. But like, this is the thing. Like, there are human beings that exist like this, purely for like,
it's a lesson. It was a life lesson at that point. Like, oh,
for real.
Yeah, there are haters. I have haters.
Yeah. Because my question is, like, obviously growing up as a kid, you realize, or not you realize, but like your parents give you the whole Santa, be nice, everything, like good things happen to good people and all of that. So then you just think, oh, I'll just be a nice human being my entire life. Good things will happen to me. And then that's like the first part that made me just go, yo. It ain't like that.
It ain't black and white like that. There's a lot of gray.
It ain't like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
I hear that. Yeah, and obviously, that led you on a path to kind of feel like, you know what, I need to fix up.
For real, yeah. It's like, I need to fix up. And like, what else? Like, what else can I be doing like moving forward? So obviously I just got like bounced out. So then I went to like write my exams in a college. And then like pretty much a couple months after that, I went to Ghana, bro.
Mm,
Ghana, went to go teach. And then I had an absolute belter of a time there. And
mm,
like there I probably came with like the we philosophy, so to speak. I came with like the we philosophy. I was like there, I was just working, vibing, having a good time. And yeah, I was just like that for me was like the first part where I could go, maybe I've impacted people. All right. Maybe I've helped. All right. Maybe I did something better than the teachers who taught me.
mm, mm.
Therefore, that's like the
Having
first step.
impact here, and the idea of you having some impact made you feel like, you know what, maybe I can figure this thing called life
This
out
is
at
it.
some point. You touched on something else as well, bro, which is something that I think is super
Yeah.
important. Is
Mhm.
when you started to go to the gym,
Oh yeah, for real. For
right?
real.
And,
Yeah.
I started going gym with my pops
Mhm.
about 16. I've been
Okay,
different
nice.
sizes at times, you know what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
I'm like in this kind of mindset of like I want to be as efficient as possible, you know,
Yeah.
in terms for my
Mhm.
sport, basically, for
Yeah, yeah,
basketball.
yeah.
You know
100%.
what I'm saying? Now I'm trying to see how long I can play, right? When I
Okay.
first
Yeah,
started
yeah,
going gym, it was purely about how explosive, how
yeah,
powerful
yeah.
I could be,
Yeah,
how
gains.
strong I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
be.
Yeah,
But
100%.
the one thing it did do is kind of like allow me to realize, all right, there's no point going to the gym if my foundations aren't right. There's no point lifting heavy if I don't know how to do this, if I don't know how to lift heavy, how
Yeah.
to pick up a weight correctly from the age of like
100%.
15, 16. So
100%. 100%.
not only did it do that, it gave me this sort of discipline.
Yeah.
Like obviously my pops was like kind of like my sensei in that space. But I'm coming back from work. I'm like, yo, when we go in gym, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? At first, it started off as, yeah, I want to get muscles.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I felt the mental kind of fortitude that it gave me. So speak a
Mhm.
little bit on that, though, and kind of like what that did for you, like starting the gym.
So literally bang on the same thing with you. So like I was like, yo, let me go gym, let me get bench, like let me get the shoulders, let me get the
That's like,
arms.
yeah, you kind of flipping this thing right here, boy. I used to feel this.
Bro, like for real, like it's like that was literally the
Yeah,
goal. Like, and obviously that's when I first started playing American football. And I was like, I just wanna hit, I just want to get those like the
yeah.
highlight hits. Do you know what I mean? Where you fold somebody and like they've got to put the paramedic onto the field. You know, one of them ones. All right. So I was like, that was literally it. But then I think I probably, yeah, okay, cool. I fell in love with it. It comes with like routine, the dedication, because it's one of those things where you know the age old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. So you've got this like psychological fact of like, oh yeah, cool. Each day is like one brick. Each day is like one brick. All you need to do is go to the gym, and it's like you're slowly building on the actual foundations. Um, but then what I would say is, after a point in time, it's like, so I changed from American football to rugby,
Mm,
and it's a sport which has a much higher cardiovascular demand. All right. So
okay.
now I'm here, I'm like, was like lifting all those weights like worth it? And it's just like now I'm like here, I'm like running, doing all of this, like looking after my health. And now it's kind of giving me this more holistic view on how to have a good health, like how to be healthy. Like
Mm,
it's not all just about like, yeah, like lifting the weights. Yeah, more time your heart has to work, bro. Like
yeah,
you have to like go for like walks or like runs and sprints and interval training. And
and
I think,
the joints in
yeah,
position to take on that extra talk.
this is it.
You know what I'm
This
saying?
is this is literally it. This is literally it. And I think you start to look at your health from a whole new perspective. Because obviously you're putting in the hours in the gym,
Mm,
then you start looking at like a diet, all right? Like what are you eating? What are you fueling yourself with? All right. And then like, obviously you take inspiration from like top athletes and stuff like that. But then you start to realize that you can't really do good things with your body unless you're fueling it correctly.
100%.
You can't just be like 10,
Foundation, soil.
yeah,
It's the soil.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah,
if
yeah.
there was someone listening to this, right, and they just wanted to know, like, they're just about to maybe start their journey in the gym,
Mhm,
or they've
mhm,
been
mhm.
going for a while and they just want to
Yeah.
pick up a few things, like from your experience, what would be like, a couple of things that you would say, listen, try and focus on these things
Yeah.
and you will reap better rewards down the line?
For somebody just starting the gym,
Yeah, we could say someone just starting, or somebody just wants to tweak a few things.
I would say for somebody starting or for somebody just starting or like tweaking a couple things, I would say it always starts with having a goal or a kind of end point in sight. So say for example, but also in as much as having the goal exists, it should also be like like easy to obtain or like really reachable. It's
Yeah,
not like, oh, I want to become a size 0 where you can put like you can do this around my entire my entire stomach. Do you see what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
like you have to understand the concept of what like what being healthy is,
yeah.
and like working towards. So like say for example, you're benching 60 kilos right now. Okay, cool. So in order, I want to make a progression to 70. Cool. So every once in a while, you've got to start increasing that weight, like progressive overload.
Mm.
That's like one of the first steps. And then I would always say this, bro. Sleep. Like they say
Mm.
sleep is for the weak, but I actually think on the contrary, sleep is for the strong, bro.
You know that sleep is the cousin of death is some
Yo,
bullshit.
it's
If you do
bullshit.
not sleep, you're not functioning
You're not
at the
functioning.
highest
So,
level you can be. Like, I don't care who
mm-hmm,
you are. Like, even if you're getting 4 hours of sleep a night because
mm-hmm,
you just can't get off to sleep,
yeah,
get your nap in, bro.
yeah,
Try and find a way to meditate because that's gonna give you those kind of benefits. Like, all of that sleep is a cousin of death. Like, I can sleep when I'm dead. No, you will be dead if you don't get no sleep. Straight
if
up.
you don't get any
That's what
sleep.
it is.
I think they did the study. They did the study on like people who had impaired sleep and like reduced sleeping patterns
Mm.
compared to people who are drunk. All right. Effectively the same thing. There's no
Yeah.
difference between the two of them. All right. And that's how sleep affects you.
Uh,
All right.
they use it as a form of torture. Some
Oh,
places they
yeah, for
use it.
real. Yeah, they do.
It's real shit, bro. Like, that will. I don't know if you've ever done those. Whether you were studying, whether you was working or something,
Yeah.
but when you're just up 24 hours, 36
I,
hours.
yeah, bro. For real, I just did it playing. I've done it playing video games, bro. I've done it playing video games, bro.
I'm sure a lot of us was there during that first lockdown. Like, shit got weird real quick.
Yo, for real, man.
And there was the last point, man, which was yeah, you leaving your most
Yeah.
recent job. Obviously, we won't
Mhm.
mention like kind of company
Yeah,
name,
yeah, yeah.
timelines, but
Mhm.
that was a big point in your life, I feel. And tell
100%.
us why, man. Tell me why.
So I think from my perspective, the way I would look at it is it made me realize how to be accountable.
Mm.
Okay. So say for example, if like what do you call it? Like I'll kind of like relate this to like my eating habits, like my whatever it is. All right, like, oh wow, I'm not running as fast as I used to, or I'm putting on more weight, for example. And then I go, oh no, those 3 cheesecakes I ate during the week didn't have any effect on me whatsoever. But in actuality, they did. All
Mm.
right. You should be accountable for your actions. Like you should know that because you did A, B, and C this morning, this is the effect that it's going to have on you for like D, E, F. Like say, for example,
Doesn't affect
you
you,
went to
yeah.
yeah, you went to the gym, all right, you had a nice little workout. Okay, cool, perfect. Now you've got the ability to kind of like continue with the day with like how you started it with like nothing but like high hopes and high
Yeah,
expectations and stuff like that.
momentum. Build some momentum.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. Set yourself accountable. However, if you woke up at like 6 a.m., you woke up at 6 a.m. and instead of going to the gym, you or doing something that you wanted to do or doing something you liked, you then spent 3 hours on Instagram.
yeah. Mm.
Okay. Now it's 9 o'clock, work starts. Okay. Say, for example, you are working from home. It's 9 o'clock, work starts, and you're like, oh, I'm not ready for work. Oh, like, but then now that decision there has messed you up moving forward. All right. Because I can guarantee you're not gonna have a good day. All right,
Yeah.
because if you keep on like dwelling on that kind of like, ah, I probably should use that time better. And you keep on dwelling on that past and you're not holding yourself accountable for just like, okay, cool, drop that. Let's keep it moving. Let's try and like salvage the day, not even like it's the end of it. You just wasted those 3 hours. You still got what 9-3. You still got like 15 hours left of the day. You can
still time on the clock. You know what I'm saying? The game's still on. Yeah. No, I hear
there's still time. You can still
that.
improve it. But unfortunately, like the brain's gonna be like, we wasted those. All right. And I think accountability, or also tie it in with like the ability of like just not complaining and just like understanding that everything that you wanted to do at a point in time, or like everything that you did was what you wanted to do at that point in time. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you can at least look back and say, yeah, I wasn't forced into these decisions. Whether or not they worked out or not, they were my decisions.
My decisions and my decision entirely. But then I think from there, I think that probably the accountability, and like from that, I think that was probably where I started to look at all of the decisions and actions that I'd been taking up until that point. And I realized that I had just been comfortable coasting in second gear. And it was one of those things where I looked at myself and I was like, this is kind of it's kind of disgusting, because it's like I've not been pushing myself hard enough. Like if you push yourself hard enough in the gym, you grow. Okay, not you grow, you become better, you become physically efficient. All right, if you push yourself hard at like rugby training, your fitness improves. All right, if you're just coasting in your comfort zone,
100%. That leads on kind of nicely onto my side of things, and kind of things that shaped me. And one of the things I remember, and this happened more recently, was understanding the importance of personal development, right? Understanding the importance of, again, you have to take accountability for where you are right now. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're in a bad place. It just means, what are you going to do to get from here to where you want to go, right? And so that's when I was like, you know what, maybe I need to start taking this reading thing seriously. You know what I mean? What is spending a few £100 on a course? What is that really? If I can make it back on the back end, like it kind of ties into another thing that changed my life, which is understanding how to invest. Right. And so when I line those two things up, and I'm like, okay, it's personal development, but really and truly what it is consciously taking an investment into myself. You know what I'm saying? So understanding that, okay, there's seasons to the shit. Sometimes the shit's gonna be real good. Everything's gonna feel like it's flowing, whether it be money, whether it just be like personal relationships, just feels like it's flowing. And then there are times where you need to weather the storm, right? And those are the same principles that you learn in investing, and that's the same principles when you learn how the economy works. Like, it always feels like the news is bad, but the news is what the news is. They are just kind of like translating the reality that we're in right now, right? So, but when shit falls off, what do you have in place, either mentally or the systems that you built around you? That's the people that are around you, the skills that you've learned. What do you have in place to weather that storm, right? So that has been kind of my goal really for the past 3-4 years, to be like, yo, if shit went left, because I always, I don't know what you want to call it, or what kind of mindset it is, but I always feel like shit could go left at any point.
At any point.
Like,
at any point.
As good as I feel like things might be, they can get worse.
Right? It's unfortunately that's an element of human life, you know.
So the thing is, instead of me dwelling on that, right, and thinking to myself, oh shit, do you know what I'm saying? What if this happens? What if that happens? No, like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put things in place for if these things do happen, then I can see the opportunities in there. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm able to capitalize in the winter, and I can still reap my rewards in the summer. So it's just about understanding that. So those two things are super important to me. I think you need to take your resources, you need to invest them. You can invest them into companies, you can invest them into real estate. You can invest it into crypto if you want. You need to invest your money.
All right. So for the uneducated, all right, like say for example, like me, I'm not 100% like amazing on the investing, all right, but I know that you don't just leave money in the bank account, because the money you leave in the bank account, the banks are then investing with that. All right. Like, so like, how would you like, what kind of like beginning starter steps would you kind of like put people on so they can go, okay, cool. I can start to build some information regarding this.
At its most basic level. So I'll give you like two things, right? I'll give you something that you can literally practically do right now, right?
Okay.
And this is called dollar cost averaging, right? Which is basically
Yeah.
at any point, you don't care about the price, whether it's high, whether it's low,
Yeah.
every day, every time, same time of a month, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once a month, twice a month, whatever
Mhm.
your frequency allows you, you
Yeah.
invest into the market. And so if you go to a place called Vanguard, you can look at for
Yeah.
index funds, right? They're measured basically against your risk tolerance, right? So the higher the risk tolerance, the more volatile it tends to be. But obviously the better rewards on that side. And you can just set that up to take £50 out your account, £100 out your account every month, right? And that's something that you can literally say right now. See, this is the way I look at it, right? So that first initial investment, whether it be £50, £100,
Yeah.
that is your entrance into the club.
Okay. Okay.
That's your
Okay.
fee to get into the club. So
Mhm.
ideally you want to get it at a discount price, right?
Yeah. 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 True. True.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you might not know if the club is popping unless you're in the club.
For
You
real.
pay your initial entry fee, right?
Yeah.
Then you start to look for the deals, right?
Uh,
Oh, okay, this has dropped by this much percent. Okay, I'm going to add to my position. Oh, I still believe
okay.
in this long term. I'm going to add to that position.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That will start to open your mind about things like
Yeah.
fundamentals, price to earnings, all these technical things that you hear about. They're not
Yeah.
very technical. They make all of this shit technical to keep
To keep people out.
people out. The
Yeah.
second
Okay.
thing I would say is just a hub for knowledge that these guys called Earn Your Leisure, Earn Your Leisure.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They are a podcast, a YouTube channel, a financial education hub. They're actually a
Yeah.
university as well, right? They have courses and
Oh,
stuff.
for real?
Yeah, yeah. Well, an online university and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
They have courses and stuff on investing,
Mm-hmm.
how to get mortgages, how to fix your
Yeah.
credit, stuff like that.
But it,
These
here's
are things that this is free information that's out there. Like,
yeah.
go and get that information.
True.
Start to understand, even
Mhm.
if you're just understanding what these things mean,
Yeah.
it will start to open your mind to different opportunities, and then take a few of their suggestions, right?
Yeah.
But then that will give you the confidence to go find your own.
To go and find
Right?
your own. I think it gives you the platform to start to research. But then I just want to spitball here, right? I want to ask you another question, and it's why do you think that information is so, dare I say, not heavily protected, but that is information that is relevant to your everyday life, all right? Because people will make money and you will have to make choices with your money, all right? Why is that information not taught to us in schools?
Yeah, that
And it's left for you to go and like figure it out, like after like university, college, whichever it may be.
yeah, I mean that is kind of, I don't have many regrets. The only regret I have is that I didn't
Yeah.
start investing sooner.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Because I could have started at 16. I first started my first job working at 13, right? That's the only thing I regret, is that I didn't learn about this stuff sooner. I'm here now, you know what I'm saying? So now this is what I'm doing, but it would have been amazing to learn about it sooner. The reason I don't think they teach you this stuff in school is because if we're all investors, who's going to do the work? Who's going to do the jobs that nobody wants to do? Who's going to keep the cogs ticking over? If we all owners, who's going to do the work?
Who's gonna
Right?
do it?
So
Yeah.
this
For real.
information is not hidden. It's
Yeah.
just not publicized. Like, and there's so much bullshit out there, and there's so much, like, for example, the stuff with GameStop and AMC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like to talk on those sorts of things, because I'm trying to build stuff for the long term. I think this
Yeah.
stuff is important because it helps to shift the attention to, oh, what is the stock market, right? And how do I learn about this stuff so that maybe I can get in on an AMC or a GameStop before it becomes big news. The fact of the matter is, by the time you've heard it on the news, the play's over. The play's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to be understanding where to look beforehand. And the only way you know that is by doing the
Yeah.
research, doing your education. So I think the main reason they don't teach us this stuff in school is so that we can just go through the system, get a job, pay our taxes, try and live off your pension,
It's,
scrape by.
like I cannot, I
That's the
like
real truth of it, to be honest with you.
the thing. The thing is, I think once you look at it from a perspective of like, actually we've been scammed, but like
Mm.
we've probably not been given the best information possible. Like we've been given some good information, but we've not been given the best information possible. You start to like look at things in a different light. Like it's in their best interest for everyone to go to university. All right, because then you can all
Yeah.
then you can all be like indebted and pay the nine and a half bags that what do you call it? We like
With interest.
with with
With
interest.
interest.
You know when the interest starts, by the way? It starts I think like the second of like you start your first semester, like year one, semester one. Like I could be grossly incorrect, but I know it's pretty much within your first year. That's when the interest starts adding up. So
Cold game, bro. It's a
it's
cold
not even
game.
like you got out of the race. It's like, oh, you paid to enter this race. Okay, cool. As soon as you enter the race,
Cold game.
interest starts. It's not even like you finished. Okay, cool. Interest is gonna go. And I was just like, okay, so you really making money from this?
Yeah. But the thing is, yeah, people
Mhm.
think that it's so hard.
Yeah.
So there's so much to learn that they never just get started. And
Is
it's
it?
like the consistency is
Mhm.
way better than trying to hit that home run. The consistency is so much better than
Bro,
trying to hit that home run. Like I cannot stress that enough. Like
for real.
now, obviously, I'm speaking from a
Mhm.
position where like I'm hoping that in 10, 20 years time,
Yeah.
I would have amassed a certain level of wealth, right?
Yeah.
My seeds are growing, but I don't
Mhm.
care about the money. It's the skill sets, it's the
This is
personal development,
this is
and
it.
it's my skill set around investing, like knowing what
Mhm.
a good company looks like,
Yeah.
knowing how to evaluate a company. What does it
Mhm.
mean if they have good cash flow? Like these are things that you can just pick up from doing the reading and just looking at charts and
Mhm.
reading Yahoo Finance, and then you dive deeper into this stuff. But people, there's so much out there that people just think, you know what, I can't start this. Just start.
It's
Just start
it's
with £50 a
it's
a month.
daunting.
Start with
But
£100 a month. Like
then
you
here's the
can
question I'll
actually,
pose
there's
to
some platforms. Sorry, bro,
you.
because this stuff really gets to me. There's some platforms that allow you to
Yeah.
invest £10
For
at a
real.
time. £10 at a time. Less. I think you can buy. Some places
Yeah.
allow you to invest £1 at a time. So now that's not going to give you life changing wealth, but that might be the price of admission that it takes for you to get into the market. Do you know what I mean? And if that's all it is that initial step in, you start to see some returns, confidence grows, you start to do more research, now you're in the game. Do you know what I mean?
It's one of those things. I would like I appreciate what you said there because it's you can tie it to multiple skills, right? Because it's all about starting. It's all about starting. And I think pretty much going through like the first hurdle is always the hardest because it's like this is no man's land for me. I don't know what I'm doing here. Everything
Lines,
is just
lines on the
unfamiliar
chart.
territory. For real.
Lines on the chart. Yeah, at some point you'll get to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna buy in, buy. You know, you always hear, buy low, sell high. You know, you hear that. Well,
Yeah.
if you ain't been looking at the company for an
Mhm.
extended period of time, 3 to 6 months, you don't know where necessarily where the buy low is. You don't know where that low is.
You don't
So
know. Hmm.
it might just take you £10. Now you're in £10. Now you're committed. Now you're
That's it.
watching the stock
This
or
is
you're
it.
watching the asset. It doesn't have to be stocks, whatever it is that you want to get into, do that. Um, but you need to pay the price of admission. Like,
I think this is also another thing that I would also say is you look at obviously you just really mentioned like £10, £50. You haven't really mentioned anything which is breaking the bank, like a grand, 2 grand, or like 5K, for example. Like that's enough to get you started. And like I will probably look at my phone and go, oh, okay, cool. My Monzo was I probably spent like 20 quid on like beers. All
easily.
right. Do you see what I'm saying? All right. And then you think to yourself, like,
Deliveroo, whatever it is, like you spend that money quick time.
you spend that money and
Pilot.
as quickly it is. Whereas if you spent, say, for example, like 15 quid on, I don't know, like as one of those things you mentioned, and then you kind of had like your entry fee into the club, and you started learning more about that. That's £15. In as much as you probably goes down to 12, it goes up to 18, it goes down to 10, it goes up to 22. All right. That is not a facilitator, but it's a path to learning and improvement. That's an investment in yourself.
That is, and that knowledge can be translated into pretty much any different asset class, because
Yeah,
they all go up and down. They all fluctuate. They
they
all have
all
different levels of volatility, different levels of risk. Like,
yeah.
but it is a skill that you have to learn. It's a skill that I'm still always learning. Like I spend time looking at charts. Like when I actually I'm one of these people, I like to make the mistakes and then tell people, yo, trust me.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are times where I've been fortunate where I see someone else fuck up, right? Like using leverage, right? So this is something where, let's say you decide to invest £100, but then you pack on another £100 or £1,000 of leverage, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's basically money you don't own. So you can
Oh,
make
yeah.
gains, but if you
Yeah.
lose more than what you have, that's a real possibility.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
true.
And that's why
You
you
could,
see them man jumping off buildings, and you know what I'm saying, like their family lose them, wife lose them. Like, these men are trading
I
with
should be
leverage.
laughing, but yeah, but
It's,
like, yeah, yeah,
it's real shit.
it's that. But then,
They're
like,
trading with leverage and just fucking themselves up.
yeah, this is it. This is
That's
it.
what's happening. So there are certain things where I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. But I won't lie. When I first started looking into it, I was trying to make the fast money. I was on some of this shit, like, and I'm not saying it's not possible, but I was on this shit. Okay, if I can get 5% a day, if I can get 2% a day over the
Yeah,
course of, you know what I'm saying? I tried to math it out. It's not possible.
true.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not an easy task. That is a separate skill.
I think even those, it's the freak cases, but then like it's like majority of things that you see in life, and in like in there, I'll just say Instagram because I'm hot and cold on that app. All right. It's people always show the success stories. All right. Like I think it would be so easy if you just want to go, highest Bitcoin earners. You'll find somebody who dumped 1 grand in when they were like 15 or some shit, and then came back to it and they're like a billionaire. You could probably find a story like that, but no one will tell you a story of a dude who dropped life savings into that shit and then it just tanked. And they just tanked. Nobody will tell you that. Everyone will tell you like, yo, it's all shiny. It's all
Everybody
diamonds, roses, and unicorns. Yo,
their highlight reel. And I'm not mad at you cultivating a highlight reel, but at the end of the day, let's be honest. Let's be honest as well. Like, let's be honest. The shit doesn't always work out.
It's just like life, bro. Highs and lows.
That's where the gems are.
For real, bro. Bro, it's just like life, highs and lows. You just need to understand it ain't just gonna be like tick up, gone.
Flow. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be and this goes for, again, any investment, like in any asset. It doesn't even have to be within like the financial institution. Like, people invest in things all the time. Like, one of our boys is big investor in watches.
Oh yeah.
He invests in watches and stuff. But you shouldn't be investing in stuff that you can't sleep at night. Because if you're like, oh shit, this shit can go down 50%. You can't handle that fallback. Do not invest that money. Do you know what I mean? I think people think get rich quick scheme. Like, you should be dripping and dripping, because guess what? Look, you're not gonna catch up to these men, Warren Buffett. You're not catching up to these men. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to build a system, either a business or that generates products or services for you to raise that capital, and then maybe you can invest in something that you might be able to blow like that. But even then, you still need the relationships to be brought in on such a low level for you to make those kind of like 100x, 1000x. You know what I'm saying? You hear when Coinbase gets bought and Nas gets paid.
Yeah.
Know someone. that trust his business acumen and trust his kind of like whatever he's bringing to the table, right? That could be his brand, that could be his track record, that could be the people that he knows. That is personal development that meets investing, and now you get crazy returns. You see what I'm saying?
For real. That I think that's where it all comes up together, and it kind of like paints like the wonderful picture, so to speak. And it's like now the flower can blossom.
As simple. I mean, it's one of the things where you're like, oh yeah, it's as simple as that. No, it's not simple. There's a lot of hurdles on the way. But what I'm trying to do, and that's all we're ever trying to do here, is just kind of talk about what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Take the advice, leave the advice. Say we have a God complex. Say that we think we know. I don't give a shit, right? But this is what we're doing. This is the reason why we started this podcast, is so that we could document these things, right? So in 10 years from now, I'm gonna be back. Told you
so.
Should have started with 10. Should have started with 10. And now 10 years later, you're trying to start. I'm trying to get that 50 bags so I can put it in the market. Should have started with a 10.
Should have started a long time ago. I think what was it? I remember seeing this thing on Instagram. Again, I'll say good things about it and I'll say bad things about it. There was this guy.
I love Instagram. Don't even try that. Like, I know what's on there for you, man. I know what's on there for you, man.
Hey man, I'm every single day I'm just trying to be a better person, man. But what do you call it? I remember seeing this guy, right? And it was like basically it was a video of like him 10 years ago. He's like, oh yeah, if you can just put $10 into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then it's got him 10 years later or some shit like that. All right, and he's on a boat. All right, it just living his life. Like he's secured a bag. He's done. Do you know what I mean? And like it's like, yeah, okay, cool. I know exactly. I've just done exactly what I dislike doing, which is like taking someone's highlight reel, someone's success story. But like he made that information public to everyone to be like, yo, I'm making this bet for only $10. Only $10. And like what you can look at your Amazon purchase like orders and like look all the things you bought for $10 and ask yourself, what have they brought incrementally back to you?
Run them things back. I was reading something the other day, and it was just talking about how easy it is to be a pessimist. So easy.
Okay.
To be a pessimist. It's so easy to be cynical. It's so easy to say, "Oh no, that's a scam. That doesn't work. Don't do that. Do this." Because a person that believes tends to not sound as intelligent as a person that's like, "Trust me, don't do that."
Yeah, true.
At the end of the day, you might be right, you might be wrong, but you need to try. Do you know what I'm saying? You need to try. And I would rather have a percentage of my money here, percentage of my resources, percentage of my resources there. Because time as well, time is one of those things like you're investing time into stuff the same way. Some of my resources here, some here. Let's see what happens. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'll react to either the losses or the gains, the lessons.
Yeah. Do you know what I think is the most beautiful thing about time, bro? All right. Time, everyone has an equal amount of time, bro. Everyone has an equal amount of time. Everyone gets 24 hours a day. Ain't no one got like a hyperbolic time chamber in which they can pop in, put in mad work.
Up and be like, yo, if I just had a hyperbolic
just be like putting mad work.
You want to see me, bro? Like,
bro, for real. Bro, I think that's a whole new topic in its own right. That is a whole new topic in its own right, bro. If we, bro, that actually legit might just become one episode.
Yeah.
An episode. Hold on to that. But yeah, like, and everyone has the same amount of time, and it's just how well people utilize it. All right, like again, I would say look at how long you just like spend on your phone. Not even like responding to people, but just like doing like things that aren't exactly time efficient or just procrastinating when you know you've got one thing to do. I've forgotten the exact specifics of it, but it's however much time you dedicate or you give to something is however much time it will take to get done. If you got 2 emails to send off, and you say, "Oh shoot, I've got to send these off quickly in a minute," boss, you'd be like, "Okay, cool. Send."
Yeah, done, right?
However, if you've only got 2 emails to send, and it's the start of the day at 9 o'clock, for example, and you're in the office, you're like, "Oh, I can do that at 4:30," and you just laze around, put your feet up, you go to the coffee machine, you come back. 4:30 comes, you're like, oh, can't really be asked to send these emails.
That shit don't even get done. That shit never get done.
And that will not get done.
Yeah.
You see, so it's all about efficiency of time as well, and I think that's one thing that is paramount when it comes to obviously investing in yourself, your friends, wealth, and whatever it may be, just to like help you with your future. That's kind of like my 2 cents on it.
I think that's a good place to kind of wrap it, man. Like, you know, like you said, invest in yourself, invest in your friends, your family, and most importantly, take accountability. You know what I'm
For
saying?
real.
Take accountability for where you're at right now.
Mhm.
Take accountability for your decisions,
Yep.
and so that you can take accountability for where you're going to be at in the future. Simple.
Agreed. Should have been like a mic drop, the Obama. You know when
Amen.
Obama just came like Bush.
Amen. Look, maybe we'll keep doing this podcast thing.
Never know, bro.
Uh, Yo, thank you guys. That's in another episode of the MT podcast. MTcast on all socials. Huge, where can they find you, bro?
You know me. Huge_huge, and the last E's are free. Guys, just want to say thank you very much for listening, just to us, and yeah.
Yes, bro. Love. And yeah, Rich_Shadare,
Yeah.
all socials. But yeah, catch us at the MTcast on IG, on YouTube as well, and everywhere you get your podcasts at. So
Yeah.
yeah, we out.
Peace.